I was playing a song one time where there was a piano roll in the song. The lights did the piano roll. It's so cool. I can't program that good. Now, out of all of the lighting options that are out there for mobile DJs, why do I choose to use this above everything else? It's not the most economical stuff out there. There's stuff that's available that you can buy that's battery powered and costs a lot less money, yet I choose this above everything else. The short answer is that they are very easy to control, they're very easy to set up, and they let me focus on the music, which is really what I ultimately want to do. I'm a music person above and beyond everything else. But to really understand why I'm using this stuff, let's go back 15 years and look at what I was willing and able to do. Passive sound systems was a thing. Amplifiers, processing gear, and heavy amp racks that I was carrying around and hooking up at all of my events. Sometimes you had a subwoofer. You had to have an active crossover in an amp rack. Sometimes I wanted to process it a little bit. I had to have something like a sonic maximizer to clean sound up a little bit. I felt like I did anyway. After my stroke, I had to make things simple. When it came to the sound system, it was pretty easy. You go active speakers. Now, the better speaker you get, the better it's going to sound. You can't get the cheap stuff and expect to get a great sound. So I went with premium stuff, and I used clean files, sent a clean signal to them, and I was getting a better sound than I was getting from my old passive systems. When I first loaded this stuff in the truck, I remember thinking to myself, I'm forgetting something. Yeah, that 80-pound amp rack, or however much it weighed, wasn't in the truck anymore. It was weird. The amps are in the speakers, and they sound better than my passive system did. Whoa, that's cool. When it came to lighting, I was using things like moving heads and scanners. In the 2010s, that became a thing. They became affordable, they became portable, and you could do it, but you had to set up a big trussing system to run this kind of stuff. And I discovered very quick that the brighter they got, kind of the worse it was if you didn't have good control. Because if you put them in a standalone mode, a lot of times they ended up hitting people in the face. And that's not a comfortable situation for your guests or anybody at any event. And even PARs. I mean, they got real bright, and if you put them on a truss and you shine them at people, yeah, it can be painful to have lights in your eyes. You don't believe me? Yeah, let me just show you. If you think you got, look at that. Is that comfortable for you? It's not comfortable for your audience either. This is not cool. Shine lights in people's faces. I thought about the uplighting solution, where you're putting lights on the ground, shooting them up, requires no trussing, but it does require, or it did require, some setup. You had to use a DMX cable to connect all the lights together to do anything other than a static color. If you're doing a static color, it doesn't matter. Program each individual light to do, like a blue like this, set them around a room, you've got a static color. But if you want to do anything other than that, where you've got chases or fades or whatever, you had to DMX daisy chain these lights together. Even if you ran your light in a standalone mode, the master would control the rest of the lights. And sometimes you got a remote control with these lights, but it was usually an IR remote. And it was a generic IR remote with like 30 buttons on it. And really, only a small handful of those buttons did anything with the lights. Battery powered was nice. Didn't have to plug lights in anymore, but I still had to control them somehow. DMX, to me, look, DMX is wonderful for theater. DMX is wonderful for those of you who are lighting programmers. But for those of us who are DJs, we're simply trying to do wedding receptions, birthday parties, whatever the case might be. DMX is a lot to ask. To actually tell the lights what you want them to do, step by step. Program. You have to learn how to program them. You have to program the lights to do stuff. And I think it's great. Like at a concert, you can make DMX go to a song. It's pretty difficult to do, for me anyway, as a DJ, to make lights go to a song without a lot of convoluted stuff. a lot of hookup, a lot of programs, a lot of stuff to worry about other than my mixes, which is what I want to worry about. So, if we fast forward to 2018, I was introduced to the stuff at the Marquee Show. Owen was there, and he was running the show at the time. He showed me these. I thought they're kind of cool. And then I got my hands on them and realized how different they were than anything else I was using. I was already sold on the uplighting for dance lighting idea. Let's just say you make him do a color chase. How about that? Just a fade in and out. You can make him go slow. You can make him go fast. You can do this with DMX. Sometimes you can do it with standalone and the IR remote if you would point and shoot that remote at the fixture itself, which was always convenient to do when you were trying to DJ an event. There's life happening upstairs. I apologize for the squeaky floors. But with the Ape stuff, not only does this remote only have 10 buttons on it, one of them's a flashlight, by the way. So I don't have all these other buttons that don't do anything that I have to worry about. But it's RF. So it's not an IR remote like you're shooting at your television set that you have to get right at your TV to turn it on and off. You just press the button on and off, and they go on and off very easily. You want the fade to go faster, you turn the fade up, and it does this. You want to go into music mode, which is like Sound Active but better. It's one button on here. There's not a lot of stuff to worry about. The top here, you can see it almost looks like, if you got Roku, it almost looks like a Roku remote, where it's up, down, side, side. Your up, down is your brightness. Your side, side is your color selection. So you can just select colors. Super easy if you just want static. That sold me. That made my life easy. All I have to do is set this stuff around the perimeter of a dance floor. It's battery powered. Turn it on. No programming. The remote. On, off. Brightness. Color fade. Color change. That's why I use this stuff. There's a lot of stuff that looks like this, but not a lot of stuff that acts like this. I want to talk about the music mode for just a minute because it's hard for some people to understand exactly what's going on with this. And let me just try to demonstrate this for you. With most sound active lights, and there's a lot of sound active lights out there, when they hear a bass hit, they do something. They change or they move or whatever the case might be. Music mode is different in the regard that it doesn't just rely on bass hits. It does treble and mid as well. And they all stay in sync with no cables. They just talk to each other and do that. The colors still stay in sync, but they may flash different in a music mode. So I'm going to turn this fixture on, just to give you an example here. And then I'm going to sync this fixture up with everything else that's going on with the lights behind me. So I'm going to put this in like a color fade mode. Like so. Now I'm going to put it in the music mode. This is where it's different. Let's set this light down like this so you can kind of see the color. Alright. And I'm going to press the music mode button. They go to a 15% dim. And when there's music playing, depending on how close these lights are to the music, they start doing things randomly. And just to demonstrate how sensitive this is, if I talk to it like this, see, sometimes it does stuff, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the other lights are doing things. Sometimes this is. And it's not just about bass hits. That's a super cool effect when you have these around a dance floor. I was playing a song one time where there was a piano roll in the song. The lights did the piano roll. It's so cool. I can't program that good. These lights just do it. It's going to take you a very short amount of time to figure this remote control out. Once you kind of know what you're doing, it's not hard. And you don't even have to look. You can feel around this. There's only 10 buttons. So you know, okay, that's on and off. Okay, well, I want to make it dim. You do it like that. It's not hard. It's a lot easier than trying to DMX something, for instance. So it's ease of use. It's ease of control. They're very reliable. They're very durable. These are IP65 rated. So they're going to work really well in outdoor situations where maybe you have some dew or some light rain or something. You're not going to ruin your lights. The other cool thing is, if I step into something like a stick or a coin or a can, they all work with this remote within the same ecosystem. Try that with any other company out there. Buy their products and control them however they want you to control that particular light. Add a light from that same company and see if it works on the same remote. It usually doesn't. This stuff all works together. I can put cans, coins, sticks, minis, whatever I want, all together, and I can make them all do the same colors. In sync, no problem. Alternately, I can put them into different groups. And if you see here on this remote, we got group 2, group 3, group 4, group 1. You can do 4 different groups. You can also press this button and select all groups and make them go on and off. No matter what fixtures you're using, it all works in the same ecosystem. And the lights that I had for 2018, these lights from 2021, I believe, work exactly the same. And you can even update the old lights to work like the new lights. This is where it's at for me. This is why I use this stuff. It's effective. It's easy. I think this is a better effect than I was getting with moving heads at my wedding receptions. Around the perimeter of a dance floor, behind me. They're seeing color. When they look around the room, the reflection, is going everywhere. It's reflecting off the wall, off the ceiling, onto dancers. You're creating cool ambience. All pleasure, no pain. No lights in anybody's eyes anymore. And now, with Ape, stupid easy control. That's why I use this stuff. That's my explanation, and I'm sticking to it. It's not for everybody, understand that. And like I said, it's not a cheap date. But for me, it's totally worth it. So that's the answer to the question. I was trying not to make this a sales pitch. I was trying to give you a real explanation here, and I hope I did a good job. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Be happy to try to tackle them. We'll see you next time. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. I really do. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.